Welcome to my new video series on the text Billy Liar by Keith Waterhouse and Willis Hall. It's a standard text for GCSE and I'm going to spend a few videos just talking about it, doing the same thing that I did with my Crucible videos, which you're able to find on my channel, and I'll provide a link in the sidebar for you. I'm going to be talking in these videos basically about the character of Billy and the people who surround him and the reasons why he lies. And so I'd like to start with a little introduction to the social context. I've talked in a number of other videos about what social context is, and it's important to understanding how a character behaves. You really need to know what time they come from, what the state of the society was that they live in, because as you know, as you've seen the previous videos, that affects the way that a person behaves. First of all, Billy Liar is a play about a young man who's 19 years old. He still lives with his parents and he has a penchant for lying all of the time. He always lies. He lies about everything. He makes up little fantasy stories about things and his parents are getting completely sick of him. They think he should go out and get a proper job. He works at a funeral directors called Shadrach and Duxbury's and he doesn't enjoy it. He wants to be a creative writer. And he claims in the play that he's got a job with a writer in London, a famous writer called Danny Boone. But nobody believes him. And the reason they don't believe him is because he's told so many lies in the past. He's got 3 girlfriends, one called Liz, one called Rita, and one called Barbara. But none of them know that they're with each other. And obviously laughs ensue from that, because the play is, after all, a comedy. So it's set in 1959. I'm just going to play a little bit of newsreel from 1959 and from the 1960s, just to give you a little bit of context about what the time was like. Things were going on which hadn't happened before, which were causing youth to kind of rise up and rebel. It was a great time of change. It was the baby boomer generation, and there was lots of birth basically after the war. Why? Because when soldiers came home from battle, you know, they wanted to greet their wives, shall we say, and that had an effect basically, and that meant that they had children. There was lots of children in that time, and a lot of these children were actually very disillusioned people, because after the war Britain was really rebuilding itself. In the 1960s, the sexual revolution came along. That was a time when people were liberated and threw off these ideals that they had before, which were basically based on Christian morality. Christian morality says you shall not have sex outside of marriage. You shall not live with a person before you're married, and you shall not be with multiple people. That was kind of the thought, the spirit of the age, and we call that word zeitgeist. The zeitgeist of the time was all of those kind of Christian morals. And this new baby boomer generation started to rebel against that. Billy is one of the baby boomer generation, a man who is stuck with his parents who are traditionalists, and yet he wants to make more of his life. He wants to become a writer, but Jeffrey, his dad, doesn't think writing's a lucrative career, and he thinks he should get a proper job like everybody else. And obviously, if you watch the film, read the play, you'll see that that Billy's dad is prone to swearing quite a bit and having a go at his son quite a lot. Basically, his parents see him as a waste of space. Now, we'll be putting a video up about Alice and Jeffrey, his parents, and just talking about why they see him as a waste of space. So, I hope that that's been a useful introduction to Billy Liar. I don't want to give too much away of the story, because the videos are going to continue on as we go.